Melancholy is the most introverted of the five temperaments. In the old times, it was represented by the element earth and the fluid black bile. It was also known as the melancholic. The name change is really the only thing that's changed completely over the years, as the melancholy is still very much the same, just like the choleric and sanguine. Now, the melancholy is the opposite of the sanguine temperament, which is very obvious, perhaps the most obvious difference of any two of the five temperaments. While the sanguine is driven by excitement and is very social, is very communicative, the melancholy is driven by fear, mostly fear of failure and of the unknown. And the melancholy is extremely introverted, extremely uncommunicative, and instead of socializing will probably want to sit in a dark room and read a book. Now, the melancholy's main trait is its perfectionistic nature, which is both its greatest strength and its greatest weakness. While this makes them extremely hard-working, it also makes them very self-deprecating, to the point where they can actually want to inflict pain on themselves as a form of punishment for their failure. Now, this doesn't come as close to the supine self-loathing as one might think, as the melancholy see this as a source of motivation, and they don't actually see themselves as worthless. The melancholy usually withdraws from social contact, and they may actually build a facade around themselves in order to make another form of themselves to throw out to the rest of the world. So they may make themselves look arrogant or social to other people when in fact they're actually somewhat insecure people who want to be alone most of the time. And the reason they don't want to be exposed to other people is mostly because they don't want their failings to be known. They're full of contradictions. While they want recognition for their achievements, they don't want too much attention because they're afraid that they might make a mistake. Which leads into another one of their, perhaps greatest strengths and weaknesses. They are very good planners. They like to plan ahead. They want facts. They want details. However, they might spend too much time planning and may never act because they're afraid that the slightest mistake will lead to a cataclysmic failure. So yes, they can be somewhat timid, not as timid as the supine, but timid nonetheless. While the supine expects people to just know what they feel, and they don't always feel the need to communicate, the melancholy does want to communicate, but it doesn't always work because they're just not sure how to do it. They are intellectuals. They're the thinkers of the five temperaments. They're very genius-prone, and which leads into how detail-oriented they are. When it comes to getting along with the other temperaments, melancholies are probably the best people to put other melancholies around, as they will probably feel that people who share their temperament will be the only ones who can understand them. Cholerics, the melancholy may get along with them as they might respect their rational nature. However, they may be put off by their short temper and their dominating nature. The sanguine, there's a small chance, but the melancholy will probably be frustrated by their lack of forethought and their wild nature. The supine, the melancholy might get along with. However, they may grow weary of their self-loathing personality. The phlegmatic, the melancholy might also do well with. However, they may be worn out by the phlegmatic's bland and slow-paced and sarcastic nature. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this discussion. I hope that this lesson was useful. I hope you learned a lot. And next time we'll be going over the other task-oriented temperament, the choleric. Goodbye.